Hello everyone, and in this video we're going to take a look at how to build this simple animated plant. Okay, so before I do that, just a small announcement. I am extending the Black Friday discount all through December. So 35% off on everything all the way till 31st of December. So if you're interested, you can go to my website and buy anything that you want. Well, buy what's available over there. Okay, so let's get started with this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll make a new file and I'll create a new piece of geometry. Let's call this as plant. And we'll start off with a simple line. Now, the interesting thing about this is that, like back when I used to work in Max, the general approach always used to be that you model something and then you animate it. And what Houdini allows you to do is it allows you to sort of go in the opposite direction, which is that you can animate first and then sort of model on top of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a basic plant growth based on just curves, and then we are going to sort of model the leaves and the petals using those curves. Okay, so the first thing we want is just the basic stem growing. Okay, so I have this line, I'll put a bend on this, and let's set this up. So press B till it goes in the direction that you want, and then it'll always be in the other direction. I have no idea why. And then press M so it goes in the right direction. And let's animate this. So we'll just do like alt click. I'll come to like 48 and just sort of bring it down like that. Okay, so we have let's just reduce this to about 60 frames. I think 60 should be good enough. Yeah, 70 is fine. So if I play this, I should get that. And what I want to do is also give it a car to make it grow. Okay, so this will be like we'll go from like 0, and the animation is till 48, but I'll make it grow till about 36. Okay, so I'll just come in here. We'll do alt click, go to 36 and make it 1. So what will happen is that it'll grow and it'll bend a little more. So it won't be like they won't match. It'll just look slightly more natural. Okay. Okay, so this is done. And now what I want is I want to place like leaves on this. Okay, so but I don't want the leaves to go from like bottom all the way to the top. So we want a certain section to be taken out. So let's take a carve and I'll just place it here. Let's also do one thing. Let's take a group by range, and I want to select the top point because this will be for the flower. Okay, so I'll call it top points, and we will set it to we'll take n to 1 and invert it. Okay, so we have like this coming on top. Okay, so this is fine. We can also try one thing, like I can take a resample here and I can set it to like a fixed number of points. Actually, no, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is good. So now let's come back here. So this side will be the flower and then this side will be the leaves. Okay, I'm not going to label anything. You can do that labeling on your own. Okay, so this defines the area for my leaves. So we can just call it leaf or leaves section. Okay. Okay, so now that this is done, what we want is we want a fixed number of points. Okay, like if I take a resample, the resample by default generates points based on the length. Okay, but what we would like is we want a fixed number of points so that the leaves don't suddenly start popping up. Okay, like they'll all just grow along the line, like in a continuous stream. So I'm going to turn off maximum length segments and turn on like maximum segments. So what will happen is you'll see now you're getting like a fixed number of points on this. Okay, and I want about like 7 should be good enough. So this is what it is going to be. So I can come in here and I can call this number of leaves. Okay. And we can color this. So let's color it green. Okay, so this is good. And now the next thing I want is on the number of leaves, I also want to calculate the curve view, because the curve view will help us control the scaling of the leaves. So if we want like the leaves at the bottom to be bigger and the ones on top to be smaller, then we can do that. Okay. So that will come in, that's why you need the curve view. So you can see it, like if you visualize it, you'll see, the curve view. It's basically just a value going from 0 to 1 along the length of the line. Okay, the next thing we want is, I'm going to just create an attribute here in order to help us control the bending of the leaves. Okay, so I'll just create it right now uh, because we can use it later. Okay, so I'll just call it leaf bend attribute, and let's make this green as well. So this will be, I'll just call it bend, and I'll do set always remap attribute, and this will be curve view. Curve view. Okay. And we'll also create like a p scale. So again, another attribute, just and take we'll call this leaf scale, and maybe you should color them slightly, yeah, different. Okay. And this will also be set always remap attribute, set it to, it'll just make our life easier, like rather than me doing it later, you can do it right now. Okay, and the last thing I want is, I want to take an orientation along curve, just to sort of have the leaf sort of flow along this curve. Okay, so we can call this leaf orientation. Okay, so this is good. Now let's create a line for the leaves. Okay, so I'll just take this, and this is fine, and maybe make it slightly smaller. So this will also animate. Okay, but let's first bend this. So we'll take a bend here, and the same thing. So B B B M. Okay, and then what we want is like it's straight in the beginning, and then it sort of comes down like that. So you'll have this, and this will also like let's start at 0, and then it comes up here like that. Yeah, so something like this. Maybe more bend should be nice. So let's make it around like minus 90. So it's, it sort of bends down a fair bit. Okay, now what I want to do with this is, I don't want to animate this directly. Okay, what I would like is, I want to animate it using a chop network, because I also want to multiply this with the point number. So what I want is like the leaves towards the top should have a lesser bend than the leaves at the lower side. And in order to do that, we can't directly animate. If you directly animate, then it becomes very difficult to multiply it with an attribute. Okay, so what I can do is, I'm going to take a chop network, and we'll just jump in here, and I'll create a, let me just do a split top bottom. Let's take a motion effects. Yeah. And just create a channel. And I'll call this as bend A. And I just want to animate like one value here. Okay, so I'll just do like, we were going from 0 to minus 90, right? Okay, so we'll just do that. We'll do alt click and then 24 and make it like minus 90. So we have this. And this is good. Okay, so now what we can do is, we can also like define like how much it should. So you can use the full animation range, it doesn't matter. You can also do like a start end if you want to sort of control it, like how much it should be. But like this is fine. Okay, it's not going to affect it anyways after this. So let's call this bend A. And what I can do is, I can come up here to this bend and just, drag and drop this over there and do like relative chop reference. So we'll still get the same animation. Hold on, like, yeah, see, this is where it becomes problem. Delete the channel first, okay, and then we'll do this. So just drag drop and do relative chop reference. So you'll get this, and you're still getting the animation, except now the animation is in here. So like whatever changes I want, I can make those changes here. Do a shift click. See, so you have this. So the advantage is like, this is now like a relative reference function rather than being like a Bezier, like a timeline curve. So this makes it easier for us to sort of animate it, like multiply it with like other attributes if we want. Okay, so this is good. Now let's just do one thing. Let's just take this further ahead. I'll do a copy to points and let's just see what we're getting. Okay, so we'll do copy to points and this comes in here, that goes in there. And I have this. Okay, so now I need to see. So my scaling is in place, but the scaling has to be reversed, first of all. We'll take care of that. Let's also first of all we need to set up the orientation of this. Okay, so come in here and yeah, let's try something. Let me just take this. We'll take a transform. We'll have to rotate this. So let me try rotating this. Yeah, so rotate it 90 in the x axis. So that is fine. Okay, now we also firstly we'll readjust the curve. See, so we'll just flip it. So we'll get this. The next thing is come into the leaf orientation and you want it to spin. So what you do is take the in the pitch. Okay, sorry, this is the roll. Yeah, okay. So in the roll, take the twist per option and change it to per edge and take the partial twist to 137.5. Okay, that's the magic number for. So that's like, so 137.5 is sort of like the magic number for like botany. Okay, like that is how leaves sort of spin around your stem. That's something I learned when I was like learning health systems. Okay, so just remember this one number, it'll help you a lot. And then I can also take the pitch and I can kind of like see, so you can also do like other things with this. Okay, so I can, if I want to like bend it a bit more, I can do that. Okay, and then I can also so let's say like if I want like the bottom to bend more and then this to bend less, see, so I can do this. And if I merge it with that, see, I'll get, of course, they're not animating, separately. So that's why you're getting like all of them sort of like going like jerky over the whole thing. Yeah, so we don't want that. We'll take care of it. So the first thing we want is we want the leaves to sort of grow one by one. So we need to sort of offset the animation. So what I'm going to do is I'll just get rid of this. We need, in order to do that, we're going to need like the point numbers. So just take an enumerate. Okay, so the enumerate node stores the point numbers into an attribute. It's pretty simple. Because just take an enumerate, we'll call it points, it'll be index. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. Like if you look at this curve from this thing, we do a split left right, and I'll set this to geometry spreadsheet, and you will get uh, where are you? There you go, index. So it's like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the point numbers. Like it's like that simple. Okay, now in order to offset it, we're going to need a for each. We're going to need a lot of for each in this. Like a lot of it is just through for each. So we'll take for each point. I'm going to shorten this name to for each A. And this comes in here. And then that goes in there. And this comes out. Okay, so the next thing we want is take a time shift. And this will have to be animated. We'll also do one thing. I want the line to grow a little after 1. So we'll take it to about 5. Wait, I think there's still like a keyframe here. Control C, delete channel. Yeah, Control V. Okay, fine. This is good. Okay, so just come into the time shift, and all we have to do is uh, take this, and we'll have to multiply it with this index value. So in order to multiply that, we need to use a point function. Okay, so what you do is you take the $f, and whatever I subtract it with is how much it will offset. So if I subtract it with 20, you'll see like it offsets by 20. See, so if I take this and I type in point, and you need a few things here. So the first is which node. So we want to bring it from the for each. So we do dot dot slash for each a. Okay, and then close that. And then the point number is 0 because there's only one point inside the for each. Then the name of the attribute. So the name of the attribute is index, and then it's a singular value. Okay, so it's like an integer. So just make it 0. Like if it was like vector, then you would specify like which value of the vector do you want. And so do this, and then what this should do. See, getting like this. And you can sort of multiply it higher if you want. Like if I say multiply by 2, So it'll slow down even more. Okay, so this is fine, except that we're getting like this jerkiness in here. And I kind of forgot one thing. Okay, so what you want to do is after this carve, because like I think because the point numbers are sort of, like not consistent. So you can see like it's not smooth enough. So what you can do is just come in here, put a resample, okay, at this point, and set this to like a fixed number of points. We'll set it to like 30 points. And so this is now a much more smoother, curve. And if I come here, now this will be a much more smoother animation. See, we could also try, like, let me try one thing. If I bypass this, if I take this, let's see if what if I make it like 50 points? Is that smooth as well? Yeah, that's smooth as well. So you can do anything. Like because the number of points here itself are very, low. So just make sure that your original line has enough points. Okay. So this is done. Now, so we have now enough controls on this. Like we can control the p scale. So we can control like, how big or small the leaves will be. We can also control the leaf orientation, so we can sort of define like, how much it should bend or not bend. Okay, like if let's make these both 0. Okay, so I can take this and I can see. So this is like, that's the bottom and this is the top. Yeah. So we can like control how much we want. So we have like a nice set of control on the whole thing. Okay, now the next thing we want to control is the bend amount. Okay, so the bend amount, we're going to bring it in from here. So what I'll do is I'll just take this and I will copy this, do Control C, come here into this chop, do multiply, Control V, and we need to just change a few things. Like get rid of these guys and we will bring in bend. See, so now what is happening is if I come into this bend value and I can flip it, first of all, so I am now controlling the bend amount. Like along with the animation, I am also controlling it based on this. So I will get like a much more, interesting result. See, so I can sort of like control how much it should be. If I wanted a lot, see, I can do that as well. I think what I want to do is just maybe like make the animation a bit longer. Where's my chop network? Let's color this to something. Let's jump in here, do shift click. Let's go to 36 so that, it's a little longer. Yeah. I think maybe a resample at this point wouldn't be a bad idea. It's still being a little more jerky than I would like it. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Having a resample at this point is a good idea. Yeah. There you go. That's smooth. Okay. So this is fine. Hold on. I think I need to extend the, yeah. Okay. Perfect. And so the longer this goes, like if I say multiply by 5, then it'll be like very, very slow and growing. See, you're getting that. Okay, like if I merge it with the actual line, you'll see how slow it gets. If I just take this and I pick up the original line here, so you'll get, see, you can sort of slow it down how much you want. And then also, I think we need to bend it a bit more. Yeah, but of course, I think this is too slow. So you have like different controls now. Okay, on this number of leaves, which is also a resample node, we'll turn on, like the curve view is on. We also want a curve view here. Okay, so put a resample here. And let's put a curve view at this point. We don't need anything else here. Or we could do like a fixed number of points for this as well. Let's do it like 30 points. So we'll have like, a fixed number of points on this. Okay, so this is fine. We have our, leaves and stuff. Let's also do one thing. Let's just give it a basic color so we can start seeing what we're getting. So we'll just do a curve view on both. And I can take a color node. And so this will be RAM from attribute, curve view. There you go. Oh, hold on. Yeah, actually, okay, I know what the problem is. It's picking up the curve view from this because it transfers that over to, through the copy. Let's do one thing. We are going to need this. So let's take a wrangle node and I'm going to store the curve view. So we'll call it f at old scale will be at curve view. Okay, so this value will be needed. What we'll do here is disconnect this and put that in there at the end. Okay, so there you go. Okay. And we will set a color. Let's make it like green and yellow. That would look nice. And here I'll just do a copy paste. And this will be okay. For now, I think this is fine. Let's make the background dark. And let's see what this looks like. Yeah, I think this is good. We can also take a transform here and scale it down a little. Like this will be just like an overall scale. All right, so now that we've finished this much, let's model the leaves. Okay, and then we'll make the flower. Okay, so let's take this, and I don't need this right now. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so now we need to go into a for each. Okay, because I want to take each stem, each leaf stem and sort of model it separately. So let's take a for each, and we'll call it for each primitive. And let's just color this to something. Okay, so if I jump in, I have like, one of these guys. So the first thing I want to do is I want to like, copy. Now you won't see any animation, okay, because once it comes out, you'll start seeing the animation. So what I want to do is I want to take a small line. Okay, and this will be my leaf line. Okay, so I'm just going to reduce this a lot and then take a transform. Okay, let's rotate this a little bit like that. And then I'm going to mirror it. So I want like a V shape, okay, in the Y axis. And then all I want to do is take a join. So it, combines into one object. And then I also want to take my points because now it's like 0, it's like 1, 0, and 2. So take a sort. I don't know if this will cause a problem or not, but we might as well take care of it. Just take a sort and come in here and do by vertex order. So now it will become 0, 1, 2. Okay. Okay, so this is good. Now come into this. And we will need a few of the same things. So firstly, I'll take an orientation along curve. I think we have a fixed number of points because we had already said that. Yeah, let me just come in here and check this. Yeah, it's a fixed number of points. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we come into orientation along curve. Let's turn off these guys. Let's also take the curve view already exists on this, right? So can we just visualize that? Yeah, the curve view is there. Okay, so we'll also take a wrangle node. Sorry, we'll also take like a float node, like attribute just float. And this will be leaf shape. And we'll do set always and do remap attribute. This will be curve view. And this is where we will set up the shape of our leaf. Okay, but first we'll do a copy. Okay, so now take this and we'll do a copy to points. And this comes in there. Yeah, that's not bad. See, so we're getting like if I just plug this out, I get this. But what I want is first of all, like let's just spin it around. So we'll come into additional rotations, take this and like make it 180. So it's like this, which is good. Then we'll also take a transform and maybe scale. This is like really huge, right? So we'll just take this after the mirror and we can just scale it. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and now I can come into the leaf shape and shape it. Okay, so we'll just take both of these. I'll set this to B-spline and B-spline, and I can just, like, see, I can shape it like that. I can take this to be slightly bigger. Yeah, that's good. Okay. But what I also want is I don't want it to grow like this is currently growing like all the way from the base, right? Like it is growing like right from there. And I don't want that. Maybe I want a little bit of space. So what I can do is I can take a carve here. We'll take a carve and a resample because we'll have to, like adjust it accordingly. So take the resample. Again, we'll set it to a fixed number of points and set the curve view. And the carve will like just from the beginning. Okay, we can define like how much it should cut it. And if I come to the end, see, so now I can like if I look at the original line, see, so I can define like how big or small the leaf will be. And we can just come in here. I can maybe set this to like subdivision curves and like do like a lot. And the nice thing here is like this rotation helps me sort of bend this. See, so I can maybe you can animate this also. Like if you want the leaf to sort of like open up, you can do those things. Okay, now I need to skin this. So I can just take a skin here and just put it in there. And there you go. We have our skin. I think we need to reverse it. Okay, but now what we also need is we need to offset, we need to animate these things growing, because they're sort of like this, which looks like garbage. Okay, so they need to, you know, they need to scale up. Okay, so what I would like to do is just come in here and let's do like an alt click and scale it. Okay, so we have like this. That's way too much. How much was it? Like that much? Let's do one thing. Sorry. Yeah, let's keep that. We'll take another transform. This will be for scaling it. So let's call it animated scale. But then we can go from 0 to 1. Okay, so we won't have a problem. So we'll do like alt click, come here. The beginning is 0, and then here we go to 1. Yeah, so we get this. And then we would also want it to sort of grow, as it sort of grows along with that. So we need to take another for each because this has to be done sort of internally. Let's do one thing. Let's take we need the enumerate. Okay, so do Control C, Control V. Yeah, drop it in there and then take another for each because we can't like bring this in, right? Like we have to bring in the points that are coming in, in this particular curve. Okay, so take a for each again. This will be for each point. Let's call this C. Okay, so let's color this as well into something bright. Yeah, you can see it. So we'll put this in here and then that goes out there and this comes here. And we put in a time shift and this is for each C. We'll just copy it from here. So I'll just take this. I'll do Control C, come here and minus Control V. Let's do divided by 2. Okay, we've done the time shift, but I forgot to change this, right? So in the time shift, like we have to come to for each C and not like for each A. So just, change this to for each C and there you go. So now you can see like the leaves will sort of grow like that. Okay, but what I also want to do is I also want these to sort of scale down based on how high they are. Like so the younger leaves will be smaller and the leaves at the bottom should be bigger. Let me also just turn off the curve view. So we just have this. I think we can take this color out from here. Let's put this color after the resample. Yeah, there you go. I think this is better. Okay, so what we can do is we have like this is the leaf shape. But we also have this value which we had stored called old scale. Okay, which is the curve view sort of coming in at like if I look at it here. See, so you'll notice like you have this curve view. This is the one that we want to use. So if I take this leaf shape, let's come up here. And what I can do is let's take another float. We'll take attribute just float. I'll call it let's call it new scale. We'll do set always remap attribute old scale. And then we take a wrangle and we multiply the existing p scale with the new scale. Okay, so we'll do like at e scale multiply equal to at new scale. And see, so what we're getting is this, but we just want to flip it. So we just take this and flip this and see. So what we have now is like the ones at the bottom are sort of, bigger and the ones at the top are smaller. And then we can sort of adjust this. So I can just take that or we can adjust it from here. So this gives me a nice, result on the whole thing. And let's turn this off. So if I press play, I get like a nice growth on this. Okay, and now we can like merge, a lot of these things together. So let's take this color. I'll do Control C, Control V. This comes in there. And this also needs to have a sweep. We'll do round tooth. Okay. This might have some additional values or no, actually it doesn't. Okay. So we'll just take this and this will be like small and we'll do apply scale along curve and just sort of scale it down. So we'll get, these guys sort of growing up like that. And we can merge these two together. Yeah, let's make this slightly darker. And we can also take this and put it on the main line. Let me just check the main line. Okay, this is also fine. So I can just bring this down here and plug that in and merge these two together. Yeah, there you go. This is nice. And let's just make this slightly thicker. Yeah. So we have, see. Now the one thing that I can do with this, okay, which should be a little more interesting, is yeah, let me also do one thing. Let me just take this. Yeah, okay. And let me take, yeah, this sweep. Let's get this down to 0. Yeah, so it's sort of just, yeah, I think this looks nice. Okay, so what I want to do is like, I would like these to sort of blend in a little bit more. Okay, let's take the sweep first of all. Like, we just increase the number of segments on this. We can also take a resample here and just do like subdivision curves and make it, yeah, give it more points. So we'll do that here as well. Yeah, sorry, before the sweep. So now what I can do is I can just take an attribute transfer and this comes in here and that goes in there. And this comes back to this level. And what we can do is I can just, we're transferring the color and just, like make this 0, just increase the blend value. So like the one, so the leaf, so the stems sort of blend into the main stem. So if I just do this, see, so they kind of like blend into the main body, which looks nice. So if I play this, it should look a lot better. See. Like even with these guys, I can do the same thing. Like this old scale that we have, I can plug that into, like let's take this, Control C, Control V, the new scale value, and like let's plug that in over here. let's set it to P scale. Yeah, so what will happen is like even the stems will sort of see they are like thinner as they go higher up. I think my bend value might be a bit too much. Yeah, and the orientation I'll need to adjust it. Yeah, leaf orientation. Yeah, there you go. And we can also, I want it a little bit lower than this. So like the higher value, I can just kind of control. So the nice thing about this now is this is fairly procedural. Like whatever is growing here, if I come into my leaf shape, where's my leaf shape? Yeah, there you go. And I can sort of, make adjustments here. See, so I can like make whatever kind of changes I want with this. And I can also come in here to this scarf and I can make the leaf bigger or I can make it smaller. I can take this guy, let's call it basic scale, and I can make the leaf thicker. See, so I can have like nice adjustments on my plant overall and get like different results. All right, so let's start modeling the flower. Okay, so we have this. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll just attach the flower on, top over there. Okay, so I'm gonna take a line. This line will be where the flower will be. Okay, so I'll just make it slightly small and I'll give it a resample. We'll set a fixed number of points. We'll also give it like a curve view. And we also want the orientation along curve, so I can just pick that up. Like this guy. We'll do like Control C, Control V. Let's call this as petal orientation. And then we'll take another line. This will be the petal. And what I want to do is let's give it some points. Let's take a bend. Yeah. So let's take this. This will be like bent completely like that in the beginning. And then we'll do Alt click and it will open up, like that. And we'll also adjust the length. So I'll do like capture length and make it slightly small. So it will sort of open up and sort of straighten out like this. I can probably go a little bit more. Okay, now let's take a transform and I'll rotate this. Let's do like -90. And I'll take another transform and just scale it down. So let's call it rotation. And let's call this as scale. Let's make it small. And then we take a copy to points. So here we have to do a bunch of things. So firstly, let's also take a float. And this will be for P scale. So we'll call this as petal scale. So a lot of it is just a repeat of what we did with the leaves. So that this is kind of similar. So I'll just set this to remap attribute and use curve view. And we will flip it. And we'll also pick up, let's pick up this guy. Yeah, the bend attribute. So Control C, Control V. Yeah, because this will also pick up the same thing. Okay, I think this is good. And let's just plug this in and see what we're getting. See, so that's what we get. This is actually nice. We get like you want to do a Christmas tree, you can do a Christmas tree. This is not bad. Let me just check this. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is this line should be pretty small, like over here. Yeah, I think I don't need the rotation. Yeah, see, so you're getting this. So let's come into the orientation and let's turn off the pitch. There you go. See, so we get this. What I want with the pitch is let's keep this to 0 for both. And I want like the inner stuff to sort of close more and the outer stuff to be a little more open, so it's kind of like that. See, sort of like this. So you'll get, the whole thing opening up like that. Yeah. And what we can also do is like, let's say in the beginning, I can animate these guys a little bit. Yeah, like this stuff can be here. And then when it opens up, then it kind of like the internal part needs to, because in the beginning, otherwise it was sort of like intersecting. So I'll just do this. And maybe, yeah, how much is the bend? Okay, yeah. So the bend, we'll just sort of match them together. And what I can also do is with the line, if you want, like we can maybe like animate the line. Like let's make it slightly bigger in the beginning, and we'll do alt click and come to 20 and make it smaller. Or you can make it go bigger as well. Like, if you wanted to sort of extend outwards like this, see, we'll get that. Maybe the line we can extend a bit more. The bend also, I think I want to just extend out a bit more. Yeah. See, so that looks nice. Okay, so this is good. What we can also do is I can take this resample and we can sort of increase the number to maybe like 60. See, so you'll get like a lot of them. It looks nice. Yeah. But again, now we want them to happen like one by one. So we'll need a time shift. So we'll again have to do like a for each. So again, take an enumerate here and we'll do for each e. Okay. So this comes in here, that goes in there. And pick up the time shift. Do Control C, Control V. And this will also be indexed, but it will be like D. Yeah. And let's drop that in there. Hold on. Sorry, this will be points. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering why it's not happening. Okay, it's too slow. So let's do divide by 3. So it'll go faster. Yeah, that looks nice. You get a nice shape on the whole thing. So this is good. We also, maybe we can adjust the P scale. So this shouldn't be like that small. And even with the leaf, like towards the beginning, and like at this point, where's the leaf orientation? Yeah, let me just adjust that a little. And even with like the petal scale, if you want, we can animate this as well. Like I can take the 0 value and then it comes higher. I can make it slightly bigger. Yeah. See, so you'll get like, it'll get slightly bigger with time. So yeah, just sort of play around with it till you are kind of happy. And we can also take care of the bend. So again, so what we'll have to do here is I'm going to have to adjust this, right? So I will take this, and what you can do is we can just right click here. I can take, let's see if we can copy the channel. I've never really done that before. Okay, so we're going from like, okay, so what we'll have to do is we'll have to do the same thing, right? So just let's take this here and jump in, and we'll do like channel. This will be like bend B. And we were going from, what are we going from? Minus 155 to, let's do 64. Okay. So jump in here and this will be the same thing. So let me just open this up. So minus 155 to, what was it, like 64. And I'll do, yeah, so this is good. We can rename this if we want. Yeah, let's call it bend B. Okay. And then come up here to the bend. I'll delete the channel. Oh, sorry. I know why it's animating. This is animating. That's why. Okay. So we just come up here into, yeah, we select this, we take this guy and we drop it in there. And we do relative chop reference. So there you go. And then, so this is good. We should be back in the same place. And then this needs to be multiplied with the bend attribute. Right. So we'll call this as petal bend attribute. And this does the same thing. So just come in here and we'll do, let's copy it from this guy itself. Where's this? Bend. I'll just copy this, like take this much. To Control C, we'll just have to change the attribute, change the for each name. Control V, and this is for each D. So we'll get, okay, and then we need to readjust this. So where's my bend? Okay, so this is the inside, that's the outside. So we can just, control this how much we want. Actually, I think we should reverse this. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So that is the, like the lower structure. This is the upper structure. So you can define like how much you want. I think we'll have to maybe animate this. See, but it gives you like a nice set of controls over the whole thing. Okay, so I can just take this. It'll do like alt click on both and come up to this point. And maybe I can like, yeah, adjust that a little. See. So you can keyframe a few things and make it look a little more natural. Yeah. Like I think this should be smaller. And then what I need to do is, let me just take this, press L. I'll take a transform and scale it up. So I'll just take this. This goes to 0. Do alt click and then here I'll get it to 1. So when it's on top of the leaf, you get like a little bit of time where it scales up. So if I take a copy to points, and plug this in here, and this is called top, right? So this will go to top. Let's put an orientation along curve just to be sure that it's going to fit in properly. Okay, just take this and rotate it. Yeah, I am never sure which one to take. There you go. Make this 90. There we go. So we get, see, so as it grows up, let me just take this. We'll also come in here and I'll do like a -5. So we get like a, there you go. That looks nice. Okay, so all of this is done. So the only thing left now is to just make the petals. Okay, so that'll also be like very similar to what we were doing here. So I'm just going to take, like in this case, we don't need to carve it because the whole thing will be the petal. So I don't have to worry about that. So I'll take a resample here. I'll just give it like a curve view. And I just take a sweep. Let's also take a color first. And we'll do ramp from attribute curve view. There you go. And let's make it like pink and yellow. That should look nice. Okay. And then I can take a sweep. And this again, I'll just pick up maybe like this much. That goes in there. There you go. See. Oh, that actually looks nice. See, so you get like, nice, the whole thing sort of scales up. And we can animate the cross section size. Okay, so what we can do is like in the beginning, let's keep it to 0. We'll do like alt click. And then at this point, we'll bring it up to 1. So you'll get like, a nice scale on the pedals. Okay, so the only thing that's left to do here is to also just bring up the scaling again. So when we copied this, we should have gotten the P scale. Sorry, the curve view. Do you need the curve view? Yeah, there you go. So we have the curve view, right? So let's take this. I'll do a wrangle and I'll do the same thing. I'll do like F at old scale is equal to at curve view. And then here, like at this point, let's take let's turn this off. Firstly, we can shape it. So I can take the apply scale and set these both to like, let's do B spline. for both, and I can scale it. Yeah, see, so you can do like, nice stuff like this. We can also maybe give it more points, like this resample. I can set this to like subdivision curves and do like segments. Yeah. So you get like, a nice smooth shape. I can take a float, attribute just float. I can say p scale set always remap attribute. This should be old scale. See, so we get this. And we flip it. So the internal petals are thinner. Like if I take this, see, so the internal ones are thinner and the outer ones are bigger. So we can see, I can sort of just take this. See, I can like scale it down. So I can define like how much it should be. So if I play this, I get that. And if we merge all of this together, we should get our result. So if I just take this guy and we'll do a merge here and we plug it in, and there we go. If we play this, we can probably just push the scaling ahead a bit more. Like I can take this and like move it ahead. So yeah, and then even like this time shift, I can make it like 25. And the sweep animation. Yeah, this also needs to go ahead. So we get like, yeah, it takes a little longer to kind of open up. What I can do is I can take the color and just make it a little green towards the beginning. Like here I can make it like green so that it sort of just blends in at the base over there like that. And this shape, the sweep, I can adjust that a little bit. So I can just take this, we'll make it like B-spline and B-spline. I'll set this to grid and I can just take this slightly higher like that. I just take this and make it big. Yeah. So what will happen is you'll get like you get that little bit of thing over there. So it looks nice. Yeah. So it looks like the plant is sort of growing, the flower is sort of growing out of that. Yeah. And there's a dog barking. Pretty sure you can hear that. So you can change these colors to do, whatever you want. And like if I make it like orange or something, maybe I can make like a sunflower. And as I said, like it is as procedural as you can get with this. So if you make adjustments here, like if we take the line here and sorry, we take the resample, let's call this number of petals. And I can just, let's say if I make it like 30, see, so you can have like, or we can just make it like 6 or 7, something like that. You can adjust the length. So if I take this, right, let's just say like temporarily, I'll just delete this. And if I make it like 0.02, see, so you can actually just do that and take the petal scale and make it, like big enough and take the petal bend and let's just say for, just delete everything. I'll do delete channel and, like adjust the bend. So it sort of opens up completely like this. See, so you can have like a normal flower. And here with the scaling, I can adjust that, so I can just take this. So everything sort of scales up to like a normal level. See, so now you have like a more standard flower. They're all flowers, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, you can do a lot of different things. So you can sort of like tweak it around and make it whatever you want and get different results. And then maybe if you want, you can apply like vellum and stuff to it, do more time pass with it. But anyways, that's pretty much it. So this is how you can create like a nice little animation for a growing plant.